weather this morning, still a little gloomy, humid, and I'm next to the building with the smell of sage. Nothing like fresh sage in the morning. Or maybe I should say, the smell of fresh sage. Welcome everyone, it's my daily vlog channel, Eric B's Daily Vlogs. Even though we only worked 4 days this week. Yesterday felt like a really long Monday. It wasn't, but it felt like it. Usually when you take that long 3-day weekend and you come back to work, you're excited because you only work 4 days. But when you come back to work and it's busy from beginning to end, it's a little stressful, but I'm over it. It's a new day, ready to go, move forward. I'm gonna try to stay positive all day today. I'm gonna try. See what happens as the day progresses. All right, so past weekend, we watched the movie Birth of the Dragon. And a lot of you guys who are Bruce Lee fans, even martial arts fans, knows that story between Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man, you know, the Shaolin monk that came over here from Hong Kong to fight Bruce Lee. Now the movie, without giving spoilers, did some kind of justice to the story. But the funny thing is, if you watch old YouTubes, anything that showed this fight in the past, you have Bruce Lee fans or Bruce Lee followers saying Bruce Lee won the fight. You have Wong Jack Man, his group of people, saying he won the fight. In the movie, they didn't do that. They didn't do that in the movie. They did something totally different in the movie, which to me, in a way, they did it more for Hollywood. They did it more for dramatics. They didn't do justice to the story. Let's just put it that way. Now, what they did do was they did show how arrogant Bruce Lee was, and supposedly this fight between him and Wong Jack Man made him more humble, made him realize that he wasn't such a badass as he was, because he needed to find a way to win and fight faster and get the opponents down quicker. So that's the real thing they did in the movie. But again, they didn't do justice in the whole theory. The theory was they did have a fight. Everyone knew the fight. Everyone in Chinatown knew the fight. Money was bet. But again, they didn't say who won and who lost. Like growing up in San Francisco, you always heard about this rumored fight. I went to high school, middle school with a lot of Asian guys who grew up in Chinatown, and they always talked about this fight. And of course, you don't believe people till you watch it on TV or till you see some kind of documentation that it really did happen. So yes, this was kind of one of those things where you didn't know it really happened till you start reading things on the internet. I watched this documentary that Linda Lee, I forget what her other name is, actually talked about the fight, talked about what happened in the fight, talked about how Bruce Lee pretty much beat him up in under 3 minutes. But if your wife was the one watching the fight and your reputation was on the line, of course she's gonna say her husband won, right? Of course. It's been how many years since Bruce Lee's been dead? It's been like over 40 years since he's been dead. And she's still trying to say that he won the fight. Again, I wasn't there. I didn't witness the fight. I don't know who won the fight. I didn't even know there was a fight till about 20 years ago. This fight happened over 50 years ago. But yes, of course she would say he won. But if you go back to the Wong Jack Man side, those guys said Wong Jack Man won the fight. So it's one of those things where you're not sure who really won the fight. You had to be there. The movie did some kind of justice. I mean, it did bring out the light, or in light, you know, the arrogance of Bruce Lee. Everyone knew Bruce Lee was arrogant. Everyone knew that's the kind of person he was. But for Wong Jack Man to come to the United States to show Bruce Lee that the only thing that's going to defeat you is yourself. So in a way, Bruce Lee saw that. And I think Wong Jack Man, all he really wanted to do was show Bruce Lee that he was an arrogant fighter to change his style or it was going to get him beat. So at the end, Wong Jack Man won. Because if you got to think about it, if he showed Bruce Lee that his style was a good style, but there was one flaw, and that one flaw was him. He showed that to Bruce Lee. He made Bruce Lee realize this is the only flaw that you have. And Bruce Lee saw that. Then in a way, Wong Jack Man won that fight. He won that fight because he made Bruce Lee realize you were right. The only thing that's gonna beat me is me. The only way to win is for me to change my style, change my attitude. And he did. Bruce Lee, after that fight, they fought in 1964. In 1969, Bruce Lee came out with Jeet Kune Do. So he actually, showed Wong Jack Man that I have changed, I am different, and that's why the whole Birth of the Dragon thing came out, which is a pretty cool story if you haven't watched it. Read the story, see what it's about. It's pretty good. Again, you're gonna have biased opinions on both sides. Bruce Lee's side said Bruce Lee won. Wong Jack Man's side said he won. So it really depends on who you're picking for or which side you're interested in watching. But if you watch any of that, if you watch any of the documentaries about Bruce Lee, you got to watch the documentary about Wong Jack Man also. He did end up moving to San Francisco, moved into the Bay Area, started his own style of fighting, and at this day, he's like 74, 75 right now. He lives in the Bay Area and probably still teaching martial arts. So, good thing to see. And he stayed out of the limelight, did not want anything big, did not want to be in movies, just taught his style of Kung Fu, which is a good thing on his end. And to me, that's pretty classic. That's a classic way to do things. So good for him. Glad he did that. Glad he decided that he's going to stick to the Kung Fu that he likes and not really show Bruce Lee up. Didn't really want to do anything with Bruce Lee. So that's a good thing. But again, you have to like that kind of style. You have to look into that kind of style before you realize certain things. But I got a bag of Super Duper in my hand, so I'm about to go chow down on this while I watch some TV. So thanks for watching, guys. Vlog's ended. Go in peace. Super Duper. Super Duper.